What's up, guys? It's Preston with Crooked Shack. Thanks for tuning in to another one of my Motovlogs. It's been a long time. Here we are at AXC Round 9 at River Ridge, which is a motocross track in Norfork, Arkansas. And we're at a cross-country race. If you watched my last Motovlog, that was round 1 of this season with AXC, and I was on Tyler's four-wheeler. Well, here I am on my Warrior. We're getting ready to take off. And this property's pretty cool, like how I killed it there. Not a very good start. Anyway, this property's pretty cool. This motocross track is mostly sand. You can see it's super dusty. It's really, really fine. And the wood sections were pretty neat. There was a lot of really technical stuff, and they were extremely rocky. And I ended up with 2 flat tires. One of them, yeah, that was not good. I went over and apologized to Wes after the race. I guess Joe in front of him had stalled at the top of that jump, and he stopped, and by the time I realized what was going on, I was in the air. So anyway, that was not a great way to start the race, but it could have been a lot worse. One of the 3 of us could have ended up hurt. Luckily, nobody did. But anyway, you can see this is a mostly sand motocross track, and that was pretty cool. There was a lot of sand in other places on the track, but for the most part, it was just super rocky. The woods were rocky, rooty. There were some ruts and stuff, but it wasn't too bad. I want to say this track was like 5.5 or 6 miles. And with XC racing, if you're not familiar with it, the idea is variety of terrain. You know, you ride through fields, woods, sometimes, like in this case, a little bit of motocross track action happening. We do cross a couple roads, stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's a pretty neat piece of property. And if you're local to Arkansas and you ever want to go watch some racing, they've got like a mutual series there between River Ridge and Thayer Extreme Motocross Park. So in the warmer months, they do motocross races there, ATVs and dirt bikes, back and forth. So, and I think this section that we're on right here is actually part of their flat track, their TT section. But it won't be long. We'll be in the woods following Wes here, trying to keep up with him. Man, he was moving all right. One thing too, like I'm not a real fast rider by any means, but like it seems like the hyper smooth being turned on the GoPro really, like, not only does it level and like flatten terrain out, but it seems as if it slows down too. And a lot of that could be like when I'm racing, adrenaline is up, so it seems like I'm going fast, but I'm really not. So that's okay. Have a good time. That's what it's all about. All right, there was road crossing. Now see that sand right there? It was almost like they had old mud holes and they just filled them in with sand, and it was super soft and loose. And by the end of the race, man, they just rutted out. So in my Warrior, because of the way the rear linkage and skid plate and everything is designed, it gets hung up easy. See, he got hung up on his Honda 400EX right there. Was able to get around him. So luckily too, I don't know if you watched the last Motovlog episode, which was forever ago, several months ago. At that race, we weren't able to run practice because everything was so wet and muddy. Luckily, these last few races, we've been able to. We've been pretty fortunate to, and that really helps a lot. Look how tight this section is. Man, it's just crazy. And to me, that's fun, you know, and having a wide variety of terrain on a track is what makes it so exciting. Starting to see some dust here, so I know I'm starting to catch up with somebody else. So I'm just kind of trying to not ride crazy, you know, outside of my ability, but try to run consistent and try to hold a steady speed to try to catch whoever that is in front of me. Another road crossing there. I think that one was actually a driveway because there was no safety there. No safety personnel there. There's another tight little section there. And you can't see just how rough. Like this track was actually pretty rough. And you can't really tell it because of the hyper smooth on the GoPro. It really smooths it out. But whenever I get up behind somebody, see, I believe that's John Harvey. Anyway, he's in mine and Wes's class as well. So I guess I caught up to him. I'm still on the first or second lap. want to say this is the first lap, so I'm trying to run him down. And but if you watch his four-wheeler, man, you can really see just how rough the track is. These sections don't look too bad, but you'll see some coming up. Looks like he might have hurt his hand, ended up letting me around him. The funny thing is that he let me around him. It looked like he hurt his hand. Well, a little while later, I heard somebody coming up behind me, and just out of instinct, I'm used to, see, there he is in front of me again. I'm so used to, like, higher classes, like myself being lap traffic and having a faster rider come around that's a lap ahead of me maybe, and letting them around me. So, like, just without thinking about it, I didn't even look to see who it was. I whipped over, and it was him, and we're in the same class. So I just let him have the pass. So that was kind of funny, and we kind of went back and forth. See, that's the roughness I was talking about, man. That track was pretty wild. At least in my opinion. You may not think so. That's okay. It was pretty fun, though. All in all, things have been going okay. We've stayed pretty busy between work and everything else. Tyler was actually in this race. He was running in Junior Pro again. He ended up coming in second in Junior Pro, which was pretty awesome. This was his first race back since Harrison in 2019, and that was his first race ever. So he's doing pretty good, and he was tickled to get back out there. One thing that helped was that he wasn't the only one racing, so and plus they let James run practice with him, fill out a waiver and run practice with him. So we all actually, me and him and Ben Pace and John Harvey and some other guys, we all actually ran practice together, and that made him feel a lot more comfortable, and he ended up doing really well. And he ended up racing the race after this with us too, which there's an unedited GoPro video of that. It's just raw footage, and then I'll do a motovlog on that too later. Check out the huge rock we're riding across. It's crazy. I'd seen other people's YouTube videos and saw that and thought that was maybe an old road or something. Had no idea what it was. And anyway, it's just a great big piece of shale or limestone or something. This was a pretty neat section too. It's one of the more technical little sections just because of all the roots and tight turns and everything. And so yeah, that was pretty cool. Well, we've had an okay year as far as racing goes. I just wish that we'd had more time to, record and edit video and stuff. Tyler didn't race Black Rock, but Leanne, myself, James, and Jonathan, we all raced at Black Rock, which isn't very far from home. And that was a fun round. That was in the middle of July, it was the 25th of July. I ended up coming in first in Novice. Jonathan came in second. That was a lot of fun. We did a night race. I didn't have very good luck personally, and that was at Harrison. I was having mechanical problems. I broke my chain on the fourth lap or something, and it was god-awful dusty. Timothy actually raced in that one, borrowed James's 300EX and raced in that one, but he had my GoPro on, but something happened. There was a mishap at the start, and anyway, there was no footage of that one, unfortunately. And we've had a couple since then. The Boston Mountain Founders race, I ended up coming in second there, and then we had the trying to think here, we had this race after that, which I ended up coming in third in. That was pretty fun. And then we got another one coming up. Here we are coming back around to the finish. My bumper was pretty mangled up after running into Poor West on the first lap, so had to straighten that out. Ended up putting some inner tubes in my front tires for the following race, and anyway, had a few things to fix here and there. I think I had another broken battery cable. All in all, it was a pretty good day. It's kind of hard to be upset about coming in third place on such a rough track, and it was just a lot of fun. So like I said, Tyler came in second in Junior Pro. Anyway, we'll have some more motovlog stuff coming up here pretty soon. I'll do one on the next race after this one as well. And then we've got one more race for the season coming up in November. Not 100% sure if we're going to go. That's the Riverfront Grand Prix. So appreciate it, guys.